זה עוד יום שישי, נושם את האוויר, האור והצל משחקים, שוב תופסת השולחן ערוך, תמונות ילדות על הקיר, שיירות לבנות חוזרות מבית כנסת, והריח הזה ששורט לי את הלב מתגנב ופותח דלתות אל אושר קטן, אל אותו שיר ישן שעובר אצלנו במשך דורות. מתנות קטנות, מישהו שלח לי מתנות קטנות, רסיסים של כוונה, עיגולים של אמונה. מתנות קטנות, מישהו שלח לי מתנות קטנות, כמו הכוח לקבל את מה שאין, את מה שיש, מה עוד אפשר כבר לבקש. זה עוד יום שישי, מרפסת ועיתון, השמש כמו הדאגות לאט נמחקת, מנגינות פשוטות זוחלות מהחלום, ושום שערה כבר לא תסתיר פה את השקט. מתנות קטנות, מישהו שלח לי מתנות קטנות, רסיסים של כוונה, עיגולים של אמונה. מתנות קטנות, מישהו שלח לי מתנות קטנות, כמו הכוח לקבל את מה שאין, את מה שיש, מה עוד אפשר כבר לבקש. מתנות קטנות, קיבלנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת, ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. והריח הזה ששורט לי את הלב מתגנב ופותח דלתות אל אושר קטן, אל אותו שיר ישן שעובר אצלנו במשך דורות. מתנות קטנות, מישהו שלח לי מתנות קטנות, רסיסים של כוונה, עיגולים של אמונה. מתנות קטנות, מישהו שלח לי מתנות קטנות, כמו הכוח לקבל את מה שאין, את מה שיש, מה עוד אפשר כבר לבקש. מתנות קטנות.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Erev Shabbat with your Temple Beth Israel community. So good to have you here. So good to see those who are online with us on all the various streaming platforms, Facebook, YouTube, some on Zoom, and shalom to Rabbi Kupitz.
Shabbat Shalom. Oops, hold on. Shabbat Shalom. Hello. There we go. Now I'm on the screen. Good to be with you and to share this Shabbat together. I have put in the chat on Facebook and also on YouTube the link to the digital Siddur that the CCAR has. You can either use the flip book there or download a Kindle book for a small amount of money. The flip book is free, a little harder to use, but it's there. If you don't already have a hard copy Siddur at home. So few options for you so that you can follow along. The page numbers we use are those for the Shabbat book, that is there. We're going to reflect a little bit tonight on the events of last Shabbat, on what happened in Colleyville, Texas, and how that impacts each of us in our own way as we sort out the situation and our own feelings. We're going to begin bringing in Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem, which is on page 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Sharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Sharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Sharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Zeidchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Zeidchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Zeidchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Nil Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeidchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Zeidchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Zeidchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Before we light our candles, I'd like to share with you as we kindle our lights tonight. We do so as a symbol of our determination and of our resilience. Last Sunday, there was a healing service that Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker participated in Colleyville. It was hosted by a church because their building is inaccessible after what happened on Saturday. And the community together joined in this affirmation. We stand together against hatred, bigotry, and violence. We stand together in love and support of each other. We stand together in words and in deeds. We stand together understanding that our actions matter. We continue with the blessing over kindling our Shabbat lights, which you will find on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We turn to Lecha Dodi on pages 20 and 21, and as is our custom, we take a moment to reflect on this last week, to go back to last Shabbat, that time of fear and dread, and to spend a moment on each day of the week, on its challenges and on its blessings, and then we'll return to the community for Lecha Dodi. We will sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. When we get to verse 9, you can turn toward the entry to your home to welcome the Shabbat presence and the Nishama Yetera, that extra soulfulness, into your home and into your heart.
La 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 lecha dodi. La 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 lekrat kala. La 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 pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nekaber. La 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 lekrat kala. Ya la 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 pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad Ishme'anu el hamyuchad Adonai echad Ushmo echad B'shem u'tiferet v'litchila Ya la 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 lecha dodi Ya la 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 likrat kala Ya la 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 pnei Shabbat Pnei Shabbat nikabela Likrat Shabbat mechuven elcha Ki mekor habracha Verosh mikedem Mesucha Sob ma'aseh b'machshava Techila Ya la 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 lecha dodi Ya la 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 likrat kala Ya la 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 pnei Shabbat Pnei Shabbat nikabela Hitoreri Kivaorech Kubiori Uri Shedaberi Kevod Adonai Alayich nigla Ya la 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 lecha dodi Ya la 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 likrat kala Ya la 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 pnei Shabbat Pnei Shabbat nikabela Boi v'shalom Ateret v'alai Gam b'simcha U'tzola Toch emunei Am segula Boi chala Boi chala La 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 lecha dodi Ya la 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 likrat kala Ya la 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 pnei Shabbat Pnei Shabbat nikabela
I'd like to invite Scarlett Vandegrift to turn on her camera and her microphone. Hi, Scarlett.
Hello.
Going to have you lead lead us all in a Chatzi Kaddish. And for everybody out in the congregation, we are on page 26 in our Shabbat book. Go ahead, Scarlett.
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah V'yama divrach hirotev yamlich malchutei L'chayechom u'vyom echom u'chayedochu beit Yisrael Ba'agala u'vizman kariv V'yimeru Amen Yehi Shemei Rabbah Mivarach La'olam U'amei Amaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitruma V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitale V'yitolo Shemei Dekudusha B'rihu La'elam Minko Barachta V'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiram b'yama v'meru. Amen.
Thank you. And if you can just read the Hebrew and then the English of Baruch Hu on the next prayer. And we continue with Baruch Hu, page 28. We rise in body or in spirit.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due and now and forever.
Thank you very much.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
We turn to page 30, the last three lines in the Hebrew, with the end of Ma'ariv Aravim. El
Chai v'kayam Tamidim l'chaleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch ata Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim.
Amen. We turn to page 34 and 35 as we connect ourselves to the Holy One and to everything in existence, Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
A reading, We Are Not Helpless by Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker. We are not helpless. We bring healing with Band-Aids and hugs, a cup of coffee and chicken soup. We are not helpless. We bring healing with a text, a call, a card, a response that says, you are not alone. We are not helpless. We bring healing with acceptance, patience, and understanding for ourselves and for others. We are not helpless. We bring healing with words of compassion and acts of compassion, reaching out with care and love. We are not helpless. We bring healing to hearts and mind, body and soul. We bring healing every day. We are not helpless. And we will now continue with Ve'ahavta, page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך, ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם באמת.
In a moment, we will continue on page 40 with Micha Mocha, our song of freedom. I know that last Shabbat, when I heard that everybody had freed themselves and they were no longer in danger, I felt a little as if we had crossed through a sea. And I wanted to cry out with joy and with relief. We're going to sing Micha Mocha, and then there's going to be a video message from Rabbi Rick Jacobs from the Union for Reform Judaism, and then we'll continue with Hashkivenu on page 42. 41st for Micha Mocha.
Lai 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 la lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, Norat tehilot osef ele, Norat tehilot osef ele. Malchutecha ra'u v'necha, bokeh yam lifnei Moshe Miriam, Zeh lianu ve'amaru, Adonai, Adonai, imloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai, imloch HaKodesh, Torati Lod, Osef Ele, Torati Lod, Osef Ele. V'ne'emar, Ki Adonai et Yaakov, U'alo meyad, Chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Last Shabbat, we held our breath for 11 long hours as Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker was held hostage along with 3 members of Congregation Beth Israel in Colleyville, Texas. They'd gathered for prayer as we do this and every Shabbat to gain strength from our tradition, from one another, and from the Holy One. The Torah portion they gathered to read last week was the drama at the Red Sea when our ancestors were finally able to escape plague-ridden Egypt and miraculously made their way across the sea to the shore of freedom. Last Shabbat was supposed to be about liberation, but instead these 4 courageous souls endured a day of captivity, trauma, and fear. Later in last week's Torah portion, the Israelites are attacked by the Amalekites, who have a deep-seated hatred of our people. Moses leads the fight against the Amalekites, and as long as his hands are held high, the Israelites prevail. But when his arms tire, they begin to succumb. Aaron and Hur come to prop up Moses' arms, leading our ancestors to victory over their hate-filled adversaries. Last week, Rabbi Citron Walker was the one whose hands were held high, which helped lead our siblings in Colleyville to prevail. All of us were cast as Aaron and Hur, as prayers were offered from every quarter of the Jewish community, and so many of other faiths also stood with us in solidarity. Our arms helped support theirs. Our arms helped sustain those who showed up to win their safe release. As much as trauma and fear filled last Shabbat, liberation came in the dark of night. And on this Shabbat, we are showing up. That's what we do. We're not going to be kept from living Jewish lives of depth and commitment. We're not going to cower hoping for better days. Our friends at Congregation Beth Israel taught us that training and preparation can save lives. We're going to continue being smart and careful about the security of our communities. We are in a deep partnership with the ADL, bringing resources and training to our congregations as well as educational materials for our communities to understand the many layers of anti-Semitism and how we can fight it together. It's important to conclude with a teaching from this week's portion entitled Yitro, named after a non-Jewish spiritual leader who is also Moses' father-in-law. Moses receives love and wisdom from Yitro as he struggles to administer justice. As we gather tonight, we are heartened and moved by the many contemporary Yitros, leaders of other faith communities who are standing with us. We're grateful for your friendship and solidarity. As you have shown up for us last Shabbat and this one, we pledge that we will continue to show up for each other. That is one of the most critical ways we can keep our multi-faith, multiracial communities secure and safe. On this Shabbat, we ask the Holy One to spread a protective shelter over all our congregations who are gathered in love and solidarity. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Holy One, spread over all of us a sukkah of peace as we continue to draw strength from one another. May we never stop showing up when it matters most. Shabbat Shalom.
Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu b'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shalom lecha, ufros aleinu sukat shalom lecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right, O Adonai. Amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. Amen. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Amen.
Give thanks for Shabbat, for the breath that it gives, that opportunity to breathe, the opportunity to connect with our deepest selves, with God, with our community. Join in singing Vishamru, page 44.
Veshamru v'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות Shabbat ולדורותם בריך עולם.
We turn to page 46 for our Amidah. We will sing the first few blessings together and then have a musical contribution from Dr. Randy Polivoy and opportunity for silent reflection. We rise in body or in spirit. Page 46.
Oh, Shah, oh, Shah, oh, Shah, oh, Shah, Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agi, Tehilatecha, Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah.
Page 50.
Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach, Umorid hagashem. מכלכל חיים בחסד, וחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממיד ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל.
Page 52. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Baruch Shemo.
Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen.
Please take a few moments for the text of your own heart.
Well, Shabbat Shalom to everybody out there.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi. The song I'm going to play, some of you may be familiar. It's a Yiddish song called Raisins and Almonds, and in Yiddish, Rozenkes mit Mandeln. It's a traditional Jewish lullaby popularized by Abraham Goldfaden for his 1880 musical Shulamis. Don't know what that means. It has been elevated to the status of a folk song and has been recorded many, many times by well-known artists in both vocal and instrumental versions, as well as both in Yiddish and English. This is Raisins and Almonds, Rozenkes mit Mandeln.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom to everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are now almost a week since we first heard about a synagogue under attack in Colleyville, Texas. Sadly, we don't need any more reminders about how rising anti-Semitism in America and around the world threaten our safety and security. We understand all too well that as a Jewish community, we must ever be vigilant, now and always. Last Shabbat, I started seeing text messages about the situation, the hostages in Colleyville, and I turned to my rabbinic colleagues on Facebook, and we began talking about the situation even before CNN had begun its coverage. People were watching the live stream from Congregation Beth Israel Sanctuary and could hear Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker speaking with the terrorist. By the afternoon, hostages still captive, we sent an email to our congregation linking our prayers to those being offered by Jewish communities around the world, because we see ourselves as part of the Jewish people, Am Yisrael, the people of Israel. And because of that, we experience these traumas collectively, even though we did not personally know any of those taken hostage. We could easily imagine ourselves in that sanctuary. And yet, as a Jew, I know that we are here because generations of those who came before us faced similar and many far worse challenges, and yet continued to persevere. As Rabbi Jacob said in this week's Torah portion, Yitro, Moses' father-in-law, offers support to Moses as he struggles to govern the Israelites. We don't live in isolation. We have those of other traditions who stand with us in challenging times as we stand with them. And one way to respond to the events of last week is that you are here with us tonight. And when we are in the sanctuary again, I hope you will join us in person. When we show up and live Jewish lives, it is the best response to anti-Semitism and to terrorism. They do not win. Am Yisrael Chai, the Jewish people, continues to live and to thrive. Professor Deborah Lipstadt wrote this week in the New York Times, we are resilient because we cannot afford not to be. That resiliency is part of the Jewish people's DNA. Without it, we would have disappeared centuries ago. We refuse to go away. We will get through this challenging moment. We will continue to be brave and resilient together. I share the words from a colleague, Rabbi Mark Katz. As in so many times throughout history, our Jewish community is surrounded by uncertainty, unsure of what danger, what vitriol, what violence might await us in this era of rising anti-Semitism. We call upon you, God, to be our partner. When we face enmity, fill our hearts and those of our detractors with love. When we meet bigotry, puncture the ignorance surrounding us with truth. When we see only short-sightedness, open the eyes of the blind. When fear overcomes us, show us the light of courage. When we feel alone, find us hands to soothe us. When we seek to turn inward, find us partners with whom to stand in solidarity. We stand in the footsteps of our ancestor Bruria, praying not that the wicked will disappear, but rather that their wickedness will. Let those inclined to hate question their intolerance, break their fanaticism, and burst open their narrow-mindedness. Guide our leaders to speak out, our law enforcement to stand firm, our judges to rule justly, Let all who profess faith walk with us along this unsteady and rocky path, and let us in turn walk with them along theirs. We are a people blessed with perseverance, boldness, and fortitude. Help us to tap into these values. All darkness will disappear when we join our light with the light of others. May this happen speedily in our day, so that we, along with all humanity, find our place, each under our vine and fig tree, and none shall make us afraid. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue now with Misha Berach. We turn to page 253, and if you'd like to, I'll read the congregational list in a moment, but if you have names you'd like to share, please feel free to do that in the chat of whatever platform you are on.
O Holy One, who blessed our mothers, who blessed our fathers from ancient days, bless and heal those in our hearts. Hear our prayer as we say their names. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yimalei Rachamim Aleim, Lehatzikam Ulrape Otam, Veishlach Lahem Refuah Shlema, Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, B'toch Shar Cholei Yisrael. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts. Hear our prayer as we say their name.
We ask for blessings upon Rebecca Gilman, Hannah Fields Austin, Sue Toback, Paula Steinbach, Rosalind Lefkowitz, Helen Weinfeld, Pam Poliakoff, Connie Shapiro, Kathy Blumenfeld, Caitlin Antrim, Judith Bosworth, Kathy Brewster, Jennifer Rudin, Marion Snyders, Kimberly Zimmerman, Brad Holland, Beatrice Caden, Meg Silton, Serena Postal, Bobby Kay, Marilyn Freeman, Robert Strober, Marilyn Lubarsky, Joe Kummerman, Ellery Einstein, Ken Mitchell, Patricia Kramer, Bhavini Feldman, James Cecile, Esther Bespris, Joan Morse, Nomi Kravitz, Craig Sachs, Simon Saul, Blair Pollock, Myra White, David Grossman, Daniel Brewster, Laurie Snyder, Jeremy Knoller, Charity Razaday, Mike Klein, Lily Morrison, Reed Gratz, Sarah Kojman, Richard Handley, Barbara Fass, Jessica Calderwood-Kubel, Joel Beasy, Burton Gershman, and all those we hold in our hearts.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts. Hear our prayer as we say their names.
I'd like to invite our president of our Board of Trustees, Laura Zuckerman, to share some announcements with you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I greet you on behalf of the board, and we're so happy to be together as we are apart tonight. Thank you, Rabbi, for all of your touching words about last Shabbat and how grateful we are that the 4 people have come out well, and your words about moving into the future, and also for always providing support to all of us. Toda Rabah. And Cantor Bush for making tonight's service even richer by your presence and your voice. Thank you. Randy Polavoy for always your peaceful presence and your beautiful music. And a special thank you to Scarlett Vandegrift, who so confidently and beautifully led us in prayer. We so look forward to your bat mitzvah in February. And a special acknowledgement of Rabbi Rick Jacobs' wonderful contribution. His leadership of the URJ has been quite extraordinary, and particularly the URJ has really stepped up in this last week. I only have one announcement tonight, and that is a reminder to join us for Every Person Has a Name. This is the 4th year that this 25-hour Holocaust Remembrance Vigil is being held. It will begin tomorrow night at 7 p.m. It will be online and live in Pasadena. It keeps the memory of those killed in the Shoah by our reading their names for that 25-hour period. And the sacred ceremony is sponsored by our wonderful Jewish Federation and the city of Pasadena. I encourage you to view it, and I especially encourage you to open the brief ceremony program that is on the Jewish Federation website. It has 2 extraordinary pieces of poetry about the occasion, the very sad occasion. So with that, I wish you Shabbat Shalom, stay safe and healthy.
Shabbat Shalom, Laura. Thank you so much for your incredible leadership. And I would just say that in the program tomorrow night at the Federation, both Cantor Paul and I will be participating in that first hour of ceremony as it opens at 7 o'clock. So you can tune in. It will be on the Federation's Facebook page, and you can get more information on the Federation, jewishsgpv.org on their website. We're going to turn now to page 282 in the middle of the page. We rise in body or in spirit for Aleinu L'Shabeach.
Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, Latet Gedula Leotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kegoye Haratzot, Velo Samanu Kemishpechot Hadama, Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to those who have been important, have shaped our lives, and have left this earth, those who have died in recent days or at this time in years past. And of course, I will read, as I always do, those who are on our communal list and invite you to share in the chat people that you may be thinking of. Again, Kaddish is on page 294. We remember the recent deaths of Beverly DePrisco, mother of Max Retzloff, of Jim Aiken, father of Christine Aiken, Seema Saul Betts, sister of Simon Saul, Tom Irvin, father of Katie Loeb. Remember the Yortzites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Joe Blackton, Barbara Jean Cowling Bryan, Ruth Drotch, Jack Fine, Robert Goldman, Lynn Goose, Edith Moschel, Cindy Projector, Anita S. Zoller, Fanny Donan, Bill Ellis, Pauline Grossman, Goldie Heller, Beth Levinson, Carol Mann Horowitz, Sheldon Steve Drucker, Georgina Geiger, Marilyn Glazer, Harriet Glickstein, Catherine Namaho, Helen Oliver, Sylvia Ranich, Sadie Rosenfeld, Bernice Siegel, Minnie Beckerman, Frank Dubrovich, Irv Englund, Helen Gross, Etta Height, Helen Paritsky, Lieutenant Jeremiah Schmidt, Rose Smiley, Leon Wasserman, Becky Asher, Abraham Kurtzer, Jack Landsberg, Florence Morse, Robert Lloyd Novak, Francis Ritz, Charlotte Rotman, Miriam Winograd, Jacob Belinsky, David Benson, Oscar Klein, Marion Levin, Bernice Schechter, Sheldon Schenfeld, Jack Cohen, Jenny Golden, Sig Hyman, and Morris J. Karnofsky. We join in the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bialma divrach hirute v'amlich malchute. B'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shmei dukudasha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiram bi'alma v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen.
Amen.
Zichronam livracha. May their memories always be for a blessing. We'll conclude on page 321 with Biado, followed by Kiddush and Motzi.
Biado of Kidduchi, Nishan ve'a'ira, ve'imruchi geviati, Adonai li velo ira, ve'imruchi geviati, Adonai li velo ira. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. Be'ado of Kidduchi, Nishan ve'a'ira, ve'imruchi geviati, Adonai li velo ira, ve'imruchi geviati, Adonai li velo ira.
you've got some juice or wine and you want to grab it, you can join with us in Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikraye kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim ki vanu vacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat Chaim.
L'chaim. If you have some challah, you can grab a little challah. This one has chocolate chips in it, but whatever your flavor, you can just grab a little challah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us. We hope to see you all very, very soon. Lehitraot.
Lehitraot, everybody. Hope to see you tomorrow night right after Havdalah, quick Havdalah, and then the Federation program at 7. Shabbat shalom.